We're going to call the regular meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. And we'll have Kim Gallo lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the minutes of the regular meeting of December 3rd, 2024. Each member received a copy for review.
Second motion.
Questions? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the monthly reports of December. Each member received copies for review.
Second motion.
Questions? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'm not going to spend much time on this, but I will state for the record, since Jim K is not here to make me look bad, it looks like a relatively short agenda tonight.
I've been warned about this.
That's my way now. See you at 11.
I'm taking waivers.
Waivers tonight.
Family is not allowed.
8:05.
All right. Public comment. Is there anyone in the room or on Zoom that would like to make a public comment? Second call. Last call for public comment. We'll now proceed to Kyle Kelly and Naugatuck Ambulance Corps report.
Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? I have a different microphone.
You're good, Kyle.
You're good.
Awesome. Thank you. Happy New Year. I'll try to make this quick. I sent everybody over the weekend some numbers. I have some more numbers that I'm working on putting together for some mutual aid things and such. I mean, you can tell by what I sent you, 500 or 5,347 calls we did last year. It's gone up over the last couple of years. It's definitely been an influx. This is going to be our trend. I'm pretty confident in that. And we did that with a very, very strong staff. We did that with the help of the borough and our board and obviously our providers. We had a lot of folks join.
You're muted, Kyle. You got unmute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where did I end?
A good staff.
Yes, we have a tremendous amount of people, tremendous bunch of providers that we have working for us. I'm hoping to get bigger and better and working on expanding some of our services. I did in the email I sent you guys some notes, with some updates, building updates, vehicle updates, and where we're hoping to go. We are expanding. We are growing. We're at 5 ambulances now. I hope to add a 4th license for a fly car soon. With that obviously comes space for vehicles. That comes space for supplies and everything in between. Personnel and places to put everybody. So, we're looking forward to the future. We're continuing to build. Unfortunately, nothing gets cheaper, right? We all know that. That's for a discussion down the road, but we're doing the best we can. We're getting better and better every year. And listen, just some of the numbers, if we look at them, 45,000 hours scheduled staff for the borough of Naugatuck, and that is just scheduled. That doesn't count the extra hours for additional ambulances coming out in the afternoons or nights or weekends. On top of that, the coverage that we helped our neighbors in Bethany, down the road a little bit in Seymour, and also out in Waterbury, helping cover Trinity's side of the city. So we're doing a good job. We have our struggles, but we're getting through them. And all I can say is thank you for the support and the continued support. And I welcome any questions, comments, concerns. Everybody should have my cell phone number. You all have my email. Please don't ever hesitate to reach out, good or bad. I want to hear it all so that we can fix anything that we need to fix and give kudos to those that deserve the kudos. So,
Right. Questions for Kyle?
Hey, Kyle, I have a question. It's Rocky. I'm wondering where we
Yes.
are on looking at putting up some kind of a portico so the extra ambulances don't have to be outside, because really, that's not ideal at all. I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah, I got one number back. I got that was fairly high. I'm waiting for two others that I have reached out to two other companies to come out and give us some numbers. We did do some finagling and some moving around. We were able to get most of the time 4 out of the 5 ambulances inside and 2 out of the 3 fly cars inside. My hope is that if I could steal some extra space from somewhere soon, I might be able to move some stuff around out of our Rocky. You're familiar with the cage in the back bay.
Oh, yeah.
If I can get those supplies out of there, I'm hoping to be able to utilize that space a little bit more. But so a quick answer to your question, I'm waiting for more numbers to come back and see what we can do.
okay, and how are we gonna fund it? Are we just gonna put it in our budget?
That's the plan. Again, depending on what the number comes back at. If we can, if we can just do it and get it done quick, then we'll do it. If we need to look at a different route, whether it's putting it in the budget or trying to get some grant money from somewhere, then that's what we'll do.
Gotcha, thank you.
Ken?
I think what we're gonna need is a plan for growth, especially with all the development coming up, and I was just wondering, is there I'm a teacher, so I know how they do that with schools. There's like a state recommendation for how much you need if you have this many kids. Is there a population recommendation from the state? If you have this much population, you should have this many ambulances?
I'll let Kyle answer it,
Yep.
but remember, we go way beyond audit, so
Right,
it's a little harder to measure.
right.
Yeah.
What I would say, Kyle, and at least my mindset, first of all, I don't think you're doing a good job. I think you're
Great job.
excellent.
Mm.
And understood on expenses, but I always focus on the revenue side of the equation. And that's maybe where we can improve. And let's just always look at that, especially when you come to the finance board.
Sure.
I'll be looking for a good analysis on the revenue side. So put that in the back of your head.
That's fair enough.
And your question really is on the revenue side, what can we do to get more?
Right, right.
And the problem is, like Medicaid and things like that, we've got to find and maybe collections. I don't know what happened to that, Kyle, but remember we were talking about a better method for collections and which I call revenue side. So think about all those things.
Well, I also think that if we know we're gonna have a big rise in population, rather than, I think we should have this many more, no, I think we should have this many more, it would be nice to have some recommendations that you say, okay, for this much population, and you can, include those other towns in it, but I know that this community is going to rise. So
Yeah,
it would
so-
be nice to have those numbers and have that conversation in the same way.
I have been trying to plan, to your point, one big, huge expansion is right there on North Main Street, right? That's going to be a huge influx to us. I've reached out to some partners that house one of their facilities in another town to try and get some numbers off of, their increased call volume, which is around 10 to 20 calls per year or per month, excuse me. So that's substantial. My plan in the coming future, and I've expressed this to our group within house, is to grow our people. Right, we have typically during the day, Monday through Friday, we have 3 ambulances on staff, no questions asked. My plan is to add additional to that in the sense of basically like a swing shift to help capture some of those evening overnight hours, some of those weekend hours where we might not have anybody readily available to help capture those increased calls. So in the beginning of this, that's our upcoming plan is to work on, and that's one of the reasons I do the analysis for time and day to see where our busy times are to try and plan accordingly. But the first thing we're looking at is that facility that's going to be opening up in a few months on North Main Street. That's going to give us a good start and jump, and we'll adapt where we are. As far as a specific recommendation, I'm not necessarily aware of a specific recommendation as far as the population. We basically in the industry base it off of our call volume, our previous call volume, and what we're looking at coming down the pike. So we're definitely going to be adding, without a doubt. We're going to be adding. We have to. And with adding comes, and I know the mayor's been very vocal about it, and everybody here, the expansion of the town comes the expansion of the Public Works building and the new EMS building, and we'll have to plan accordingly with all that stuff because there's going to be a time we go from 2 ambulances or 3 ambulances on at one time to probably 4 and 5 ambulances on at any given time.
What you just described with the assisted living facility, that's a bigger jump in calls than you've had in the last 2 years. Between 10 and 20 calls a month, and you've increased by about 100, a little bit more than 100 calls each year. So just with the addition of that assisted living facility, you're already above the growth that you've had. Just numbers. And it's better to talk numbers than it is to get caught.
But Kyle, on the assisted living facility, none of those people will be on Medicaid. They're all paying customers. So shouldn't that help with the amount of money
Yes.
we actually collect from the calls?
Yes, on a billing side of that will be a positive for us. Typically, you would expect the folks that are housed there to have not a Medicaid insurance and either be a private pay or a commercial insurance.
And one of the things
That is a good thing, yeah.
one of the things that skews the number of calls is what you have living in your town. For example, if you're living in the town of Heritage Village,
Right.
you're going to get a lot more calls than something that doesn't have Heritage
Right.
Village. So we've got the elderly housing, this thing coming on North Main.
Yep.
So it kind of skews the numbers based on the age population in the town.
So you don't base it on population, you base it on calls.
You can average, but there's things that skew those numbers.
Exactly. You don't want to get caught in rears.
The higher the number of Medicaid calls or uninsured calls, the
lower the
more
red
difficult it is.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
All right,
So
that's-
far this year, we've done 100 from midnight January 1st until midnight last night. We've done 100 calls in 6 days.
It's funny, they all come in 2 and 3 at a time.
Is the weather a factor with that, Kyle?
Weather yesterday was definitely a factor. Other than that, it's just been, yesterday we had 26 calls. Sunday, I believe it was around 15. Saturday, there was around 20. And the weather was not anything bad. Yesterday, yeah, there was a handful of calls that the weather accounted for, but a couple days before that, not so much.
All right. Last call for questions. Okay, item A, downtown development progress, couple of announcements. Be as specific as I can today on first week of January. We've got some somewhat more detail on dates. So right now, there are 2 crews working on Church Street. The pipes, the sanitary sewer pipes are going in now. Eversource has finished 3 out of 4 of their vaults that have been in the middle of the road and disrupting things. And the work underground should be done in the heart of winter. The job will proceed through the winter. The demolition of the sidewalks will occur in the winter. Now they're going to do the best they can with businesses to try and make sure there's as little disruption as possible. But Church Street will be complete in May or June. The first coat of asphalt on Church Street should happen in June. They will proceed to the green immediately thereafter. Then they will go to Maple Street. Then they will go to the Maple Street Bridge, which will be the last item that will be completed. And the entire job as of today is scheduled to be totally complete on October 15th. So that's pretty much the schedule. Also, together with that, Earthworks is doing in that same time frame the road work for Water Street, for the new road we're building from Water Street to Old Firehouse Road, Rubber Avenue, and Old Firehouse Road. DOT is scheduled to start construction of the new train station in approximately May. This week they will start digging the foundation for Penrose on phase 1 of parcel B, and construction of the building should start also in the spring. So that's where the construction is right now, and it's full speed ahead. Any questions? Okay, Rocky?
Yes. Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the reappointment of Wendy Ann C. Fowler, 361 Field Street, Naugatuck, as a regular member of the Inland Wetlands Commission, term to expire January 1st, 2029.
Second motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Wendy's here. We'll swear her in after shortly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the reappointment of Brian D. Moore, 129 Cherry Street, Naugatuck, as a regular member of the Inland Wetlands Commission, term to expire January 1st, 2029.
Second motion.
All right. Any discussion?
The address is wrong.
Thank you, yes, I do need to make a correction, the address is incorrect, I now live at 132 Auburn Street.
I will amend my motion.
Thank you so much.
And Nancy will correct the records accordingly. Also, make sure the land use office has the correct address for mailing. Email is the same.
Actually, I've been getting mail from them, so I'm good.
Email is the same. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, why don't you two step forward? Raise your right hands. I, and state your name,
I, Brian D. Moore,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will fulfill the duties
that I will fulfill the duties
of the office of Inland Wetlands Commissioner
of the office of Inland Wetlands Commissioner
in accordance with the Borough Inland Wetlands regulations,
in accordance with the Borough Inland Wetlands Regulations,
the laws of the state of Connecticut,
the laws of the state of Connecticut,
and the laws of the United States of America.
and the laws of the United States of America.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Keep up the good work.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the reappointment of Catherine Carton, 23 Coventry Lane, as a member of the Saunders Trust Advisory Committee, term to expire January 1st, 2027.
Second motion.
Discussion? How about Catherine? But let's not forget that Saunders Trust is a very good thing. But we now have the new one that is very similar to this, that we're gonna have to find, I guess I'm asking you to remind me to look into what we have to do to make sure we capture that money in addition, because it's gonna go to similar uses. So that one comes from the sale of Waterbury Hospital, so it's a pretty good sized pool of money. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the reappointment of Sandra Heller, 29 Coventry Lane, as a member of the Saunders Trust Advisory Board, term to expire January 1st, 2027.
Second motion.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hold it up for a second. Item 13 will be deferred until the February meeting.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the installation of the Recreation Center floor to Abacus Sports, 2330 Dairy Road, Lancaster, PA, in the amount of $155,895.59, as recommended by Park Superintendent Sandra Lucas Ribeiro.
Second motion.
Sam,
We're awarding the bid to Abacus Sports. As you all know, we lost, I think you all know, we lost the floor in the rec center for the second time in 12 months. So we were already running into issues with the floor because it's not climate controlled in the summer, so we already had a little bit of heaving due to the humidity levels and everything. So we have determined that our best step is to go with a rubberized floor, even if it was to get wet, as long as we got it cleaned off and in a suitable time, it wouldn't be a complete loss as the last two. We did get some pricing. Abacus is on the GSA, which is the government consortium. We just provided the information for the meeting just to keep you all apprised. We did get other bids. We got another bid from the last person that installed that came out to roughly $232,000. And I got another bid from another company, but they were not willing to provide me with a quote to raise the floor up, because obviously the floor has to be leveled and raised prior to this installation of this floor, just to meet the thresholds and the basketball court boots. We did reach out. Abacus Sports did just put in during that whole flooding, they were in the process of putting the gym floor in at Eastline High School. They've done quite a bit of work in all different kinds of, they do a lot of weight room flooring, even for animals, for daycares for pets. I did reach out to Eastline, the project manager had nothing but good things to say. Jim and I were hoping to get out there before, because of the holiday, they weren't able to accommodate us to get out there and actually see the floor. The floor's a couple months old. They were very happy with the process and as far as service and
you should note this is covered by insurance.
it is covered by insurance, and it also includes a mitigation system for the humidity and stuff that's gonna go below that floor of what I had in the handouts, so it should help with the heating and some.
Any questions for Sandra?
Do you know how much we got from insurance for the floor?
We got upwards of, I think, 250,000, but we still have, and that was to cover everything. We had to replace
Clean up.
carpeting and clean up.
Yes.
But we do still have, we're well below what we were issued. We got a check already. They have 90,000 holding until they inspect to make sure we put in the floor. So then that rest will be released once the
So
floor.
they pay the actual cash value, not the replacement cost?
Yeah, and then they have 90,000 holding it for replacement.
And what does the new floor come for with the warranty?
They all come out, all the different companies that I've seen, it only comes for 1 year. It's 1 year that, as long as you maintain it, the way that they ask you to maintain it, it's 1 year. And that's across the board.
Maintenance doesn't need.
I mean, just regular, it's not to put abrasives on it, not to, drag things all over it, or, it's pretty resilient, and that's what the woman at Eastline had mentioned to me, that it is very resilient. If you were to put tables and chairs, but if you're out there abusing it or using chemicals on the floor, then obviously it'll tear away. And it's really wearing away at the color, the polyurethane, not an actual floor, that would require for refinishing. I did request for a number so that, I asked how often we had to, if we were going to have to repaint it. They've never had to do it before 5 years, and it's not a huge expense, because they just come in and cover it. And it's repairable, so if there was to be damage for some reason, they could come in and just repair areas without having to rip up.
So there's no limitations on its use that would stop a program we do now and then?
No.
Okay. And what's the lifespan of the floor?
The lifespan is, again, it's all on use.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give us the 1-year warranty, but if it's heavily used, there's a lot of school gyms that are heavily used. So, I mean, they're right now, without having to do anything with it, they're giving us about 10 years without having to, retouch it or anything like that. But again, it's all on them, what they're,
Do you know if this kind of floor does any outgassing?
no, not that I'm aware of, the gym floor, they said that, because I asked the woman at East Lyme, and they were on the floor within a week of it being installed, so I would imagine.
Good, thank you.
Other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve an increase in the number of golf carts serviced from 42 to 50 in contract fiscal year 25-B071 with New England Golf Carts Incorporated, as recommended by Public Works Director James Stewart.
Second motion.
Okay, James.
As you may recall, we went to bid for replacement golf carts and service for those golf carts. The low bidder, New England Golf Carts, bid on 42 golf cars at $125 each. As it turns out, we are maintaining at this point 50 golf cars. That way we don't have to go out and rent them for tournaments. And we have some spares if they break down, so that we can take the cars out and immediately out. So finance requested we come back and get the authorization to add those extra. We do have the money in the budget line item.
So many other things they're used for too, that help around town.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that way we can loan them out, exactly, to high school or to the festivals and keep the golf cart.
I mean, at the fairs, I'd be
At full speed.
sad if I didn't see Sandra riding around the golf cart.
Yes.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion that the
None. Before we start. Allison?
Yes.
Is Jim Goggin, who's gonna handle, 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever? Do we need to call him, or? Are you familiar with that, or?
I'm not, but I can step in, you're right.
Why don't you see if he's coming? Right.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize Mayor N. Warren Hess to sign the incineration facilities lease agreement contract administration memorandum number IF 2024-1 as recommended by the WPCA and Public Works Director James Stewart.
Second motion.
Jim?
As you probably know, we have two contracts with Veolia to operate our wastewater treatment plant and operate the incinerator. We have one contract for the incinerator that pays us a rent for them to operate it and maintain it. And we have another contract for the wastewater treatment plant where we pay them to operate it and treat our waste. Both amounts are offsetting for the most part. And these two, motion 16 and 17, are the annual adjustments for the items in the contract. They both get adjusted by CPI. Currently, the CPI is about 2. Actually, it's actually to our benefit this year a little bit. Our rent is going up by 3.75%, and because of how the contracts are written in different times of the year, the CPI, the service is only going up by 2.5%. Of course, it's it's good this year, but next year it may balance the other way. As I said, they're both offsetting, so we shouldn't be in any worse situation if we were. If we're any better.
Jim, these are also mandated by the contract.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not discretionary.
It is not discretionary. So these have been reviewed by our consultant Kleinfelder, by myself, and approved and signed by Veolia and the Water Pollution Control Authority.
No problem voting on it. I don't know if we need to, but it's in the. All right. Any questions on item 18? Now, 18 is the one where the money comes in. 19 is the one where the money goes out. And so on. So I mean, 16 comes in, 17 goes out. Any questions or discussion on item 16? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize Mayor N. Warren Hess to sign the service contract for wastewater treatment system capital improvements and asset management contract administration memorandum number SC 2024-1 as recommended by the WPCA and Public Works Director James Stewart.
Second motion.
Same discussion?
Discussion.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess abate taxes on real property located at 15 Shattuck Road, parcel 019-4701, in the amount of $14,885.24. All liens will be extinguished for the sums owed to the Borough of Naugatuck, as recommended by Tax Collector James Coffey.
Second motion.
Right.
Just received a text from him that he won't be attending, but they're for
Is that the,
court removals, is what he said.
court order removed? Okay, but is that land that, transferred to the Naugatuck Land Trust, I think?
So the units are being demolished.
What?
He said the units are being demolished. I'm waiting for your question to be answered. You want me to get them on my phone?
Sure.
You want me to call?
I don't know, that's why it might be, they could be. I thought the address ran was not Shattuck Road, but something else.
Yeah.
But if they're mobile homes, that would be court orders, so it wouldn't be the land trust.
Yes, it is. 924 square feet manufactured home.
Okay,
Yes, they're mobile homes.
I'm just bringing my phone up to the mayor.
all right, Jim, summarize this for us. Right. Okay. And these units were essentially worthless anyway, right? I know, but the new unit is something that would be collectible, so it's good. Okay, thank you. All right, so these are mobile homes that are have virtually no value, that would have to be demolished, or the lien removal, and then they will put up new units that will be taxable and, more importantly, collectible if they don't pay. Okay, so questions on item 18? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess abate taxes on real property located at 28 Shattuck Road, parcel 030-0304, in the amount of $10,270.66. All liens will be extinguished for the sums owed to the Borough of Naugatuck, as recommended by Tax Collector James Coffey.
Second motion.
All right, seeing discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess abate taxes on real property located at 38 Shattuck Road, parcel 011-3271, in the amount of $2,867.87. All liens will be extinguished for the sums owed to the Borough of Naugatuck as recommended by Tax Collector James Cotton.
Second motion.
All right, same discussion, all those in favor,
Aye.
opposed?
Motion that the Board of Maine Burgess authorize Controller Allison W. Bruce to refund the following tax refunds approved by Tax Collector James Cotton as if read.
Second motion.
All those in favor,
Aye.
opposed? All right. Public comment. Is there anyone in the room or on Zoom that would like to make a public comment? All right, last call for public comment. There, and Burgess comments. We'll start with Megan Smith.
I have nothing there.
Okay, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Bob Ness,
All set for this evening.
any reports on the game?
What's that?
Any reports on the game?
No game tonight.
Oh, okay.
That's why everybody thought I was watching UConn, right?
That was the
Why would
first
we
thought
think
that
that?
came to our mind, but
Yeah.
apparently you're gonna be absolved of that charge. All
It's just too cold to come out.
right, well, Tim,
Happy New Year, everyone. Things are pretty quiet, but Julie and I reached out to Joe Toner and Yolanda Rivera.
I saw that.
Yep. So we'll try to set something up just to make sure that we stay in touch. And
And I think those are the two key people.
what are the three letters? That I'm gonna get wrong if I try to do it. PLN?
PLA.
Oh, I got it right. Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna make another comment. I got it right.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Ain't it the truth?
Charles,
Happy New Year as well, and just want to make one point to compliment our Public Works Department and everyone involved with the Light the Night festivities that we had in December. And overall, downtown is a tricky spot to try and make it look nice for the holidays. You did a great job. It was very pleasant coming downtown during the holiday season. And I just want to commend you. Great job.
Mike,
I have no comment there.
Julie,
Same about that, and then also, you know, I took a dope dad, I got a graduate today that is 65 years old. She got a high school diploma.
Sweet.
Yeah, from Jamaica. So she did well.
was English your first language?
Sort of, kind of, sort of. Yeah, she's determined, she said,
Oh, yeah.
45 plus years,
Wow,
but she did it.
45 years, wow.
Yeah.
that's good.
That should get a job.
Right?
So many great stories.
So many. So many.
Rocky,
Yes, sir. Well, there's finally a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train coming straight at me. I'm very close now with the camera for around town. I've now narrowed it down to 2 different companies, Utility Communications that put the one in Linden. I spoke with Jessica, as a matter of fact, this morning. She's going to get me updated numbers. Back then, they were about $6,800 with installation. And I also spoke with a company called Vicon. They both work with state pricing. They both meet our system that we have at the police department to feed into them. They're about $4,000, but that's without installation. So I'm guessing that they're going to come in probably around the same price with updated prices for this month. And I should have a report to you, I'm hoping within a week.
who's Jessica?
Jessica works for Utility Communications. She's the one who's preparing the bid. Very nice on the phone. I also spoke with Captain Bastos, and he was happy with the camera at Linden. I mean, there's issues with it, but not the camera itself. Just issues with connecting. So these are both, could be cell or they could be hardwired. And I think they're gonna meet our needs,
Is it affordable?
and then we can make it portable easily.
Yeah. Okay. Stay in touch.
I will. I'm gonna get a report out soon. I'm gonna do it. It's only been 6 months.
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, a lot of calls, a lot of companies.
Does that conclude your remarks?
Yes, that concludes my remarks. Oh, one more thing. Just, again, with Public Works, the job you guys do when there's a sudden snowstorm like that is absolutely crazy. I don't know how the heck you do it. The police department was going nuts, and every 10 minutes they were sending, send me a plow, send me some sand. So I don't know how you guys do it. It's just, you know, you do your job well.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, that must be it.
Grant?
I know what Jeff does.
Okay, so, couple of things. Parent School Council has a, pocketbook bingo with a twist. It's also pocketbook bingo and power tools on January 24th. So, and it's at the Crystal Room. So you might want to check out their, flyer. I think it's posted out on Facebook.
It is on Facebook.
The Connecticut Partnership is actually running an adult prom on March 22nd. So that should be fun. That's another fundraiser. And the Parent School Council PSC is also doing a scholarship fundraiser, also a dance on April 4th at the Crystal Room.
Maybe I follow my old term date.
There you go. Look for the flyers. More information. Will you be my date?
1970.
Jen doesn't mind.
Prom date.
I believe there's an exchange recognition ceremony coming up in April.
Is there?
I got the flyer a while ago.
Yes.
I just can't find the flyer.
Yes, there is.
I don't want to do it tomorrow.
And that's it.
So the 29th, April 29th, Community Champions Banquet.
There you go. It's not on my calendar yet. So it's still at the paper
Yeah, it's
somewhere on my
not
desk.
Can't do the phone.
Really?
I would note that in my business career, I don't think I ever listed an appointment in my book. But once the computer took over, I missed the I know, but the phone is.
Oh, I print the paper now, so yeah, I don't live by the phone.
Gotta be.
Okay, item 24.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess recess to executive session at 7:44 PM for discussion on the following. Real estate parcels A, B, C, Y, and Z, Penrose, Phase 2, parcel B tax. What?
Okay.
Oh, he was on a roll.
Keep going.
Now he's got to start over.
Start all over.
No, never mind.
You were on line 2.
Parcel B tax agreement and letter in support of developer financing, Northside Industrial Park, Section 3, Hershey Property Personnel Building Inspector, and pending litigation for Northside versus Cilio Geraldine E. Anybody get any that?
Second motion.
Okay.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Here we go. Reverse. I will entertain a motion that I be authorized to enter into a settlement agreement regarding litigation at 30 Church Street as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will entertain a motion that I be authorized to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Chapter 90 CSEA regarding an increase in work hours of 5 hours per week for the building inspector.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will also entertain a motion that I be authorized to sign and mail a letter in support of developer financing for Penrose Phase 2 as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Well, I don't think I've reconvened the meeting.
Close enough.
I reconvened the meeting 30 seconds before I started the motions, just for the record. Please note that, Nancy.
Motion to adjourn at 8:15 PM.
Second election.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.